Hey, everybody. This is the NXT recap for this week on Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. And we will be right back with you in a bit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hey, everybody. I am Katrina, creator and host of Impact Trust, and also one of the hosts and writers for Women's Wrestling Talk. As I said previously, the number one women's wrestling show on the planet. I'm here with my twin, my tag partner. We are like the bestest duo ever. It's like we're like the greatest duo ever. We're amazing. But I have with me the absolutely fabulous Shayna. How are you today?
I'm good. I know we have a lot to talk about. I'm actually very excited to hear because I know we got some rants on the way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I am good. It's been an exciting day. I got to announce something super exciting. Just kind of prepping up for this con in Florida. It's been a lot. I'm busy. I feel like I'm busy, but otherwise, I am happy. And yes, it was funny that people already knew without me even saying anything on Twitter that I was going to be writing today. People know me well enough to know that I was like, shenanigans. But yes, we had a super fantastic show. Hey, how are you? And hey, Sammy, how are you? It's been a minute. Yes, happy Pride. It is June 1st, so it is the beginning of some absolutely fantastic, group of people. All over, but especially in wrestling, we have some super awesome people in the LGBT community that wrestle, that does backstage, that does hosting and all types of awesome stuff. So please, obviously every day, please be kind and support. But I feel like extra be kind and don't let it, like, once July hits, let's not let it fall back down. Keep that all together. But yes, otherwise, this was a really interesting episode of NXT. After Battleground, we had a lot of action happening, but let's start off with the first matchup, which was some women's action in a weaponized steel cage between Jacy, Jayne, and GiGi Dolin. And so we were kind of waiting for this, as we know. We've been waiting for a while. And so beforehand, NXT did show an in-depth vignette of the feud to kind of start off the show. We did know that, this was a thing that happened after Mandy Rose left, and it was who was the better of the two. I have my thoughts on that, but it kind of let us know that this has been going on for a while, and I feel like, at least for me, it felt like this might have been like hopefully the end of the feud. Hey guys, thank you guys popping on. I feel like this might have been the end for the feud, hopefully, because I feel like now you can't do all that and not be the end. And so while GiGi was coming down, Jacy did attack her coming in, and Vic Joseph did announce both women, and then also said that this can only be decided by a pinfall or submission. And I thought that was kind of smart, because instead of having like countouts or anything, just sometimes wrestling rules be changing when it wants to change. And so I personally thought that was a good look to have it be that way. And so I enjoyed that. There was some moments that GiGi did use an orange baseball bat wrapped in some thorns to kind of hurt Jacy, which I was like, all right. And the crowd at one point wanted some tables. The crowd likes, tables. We think of the Hardys and, Christian Edge and Dudleys, and we think of tables, ladders, and chairs, but they wanted some tables. And GiGi did set up a pile of 5 steel chairs. And instead of Jacy going it, Jacy was able to kind of reverse that and have GiGi go on it as well. I think for me, and this is what I was kind of saying previously, this was the kind of match I've been waiting for from them. I've been saying this, that I don't know how I felt about their chemistry in previous matches. I thought this time they really delivered, and I will even go as far as saying maybe this was one of the best matches of the night. I really thought they really did go all out, and I was about time, because I'm like, the other matches I kind of was hit and miss for me. I was like, I really wasn't sure what was going on. It was supposed to be really personal, but it didn't feel like they were showing that chemistry. This time they really did, and I did enjoy that aspect. There were moments I felt was really strong as well. And I would even suggest, because it was supposed to be a weaponized steel cage, it could have even gotten a little bit more physical, just because I feel like in this type of situation, it's kind of all, all rules kind of go out the window, I feel. And so I thought they could have just a little bit more. But this was an absolutely fabulous. I thought, if anything, this allowed, GiGi to shine, because she did do a choke slam through a table, and she wound up winning the match. I thought the right person did win in this. After all of that, you can't talk about being abused and everything and not have her win the match. I felt like this is something she really needed to win, and she did. And I feel like if they're gonna really now push her as like a without past, because I think now, after this, what else do you need to go to this? I feel like the rivalry should be done, and so the next thing for me would be like, you probably should take on, Tiffany at some point. But yes, I thought it was a really fantastic match. I thought this was their better matches for me. But what were your thoughts on this matchup? I don't know. You good?
It's one of those days. It's one of those days, guys. It's one of those days where I gotta put an antenna above my head. So yeah, you asked me about the match. No, I really did like this, and I do agree. I feel like for me, like I don't have any hesitation. I think this was their best encounter for sure, like by far. I feel like they hit the mark on all points for me personally, and I'm excited to see where both of them go after this. I think they have a lot to offer to the women's division. I was a little shocked that it wasn't on the Battleground card. I would have liked for it to be on the card, honestly, but it is what it is. And also just we'll see where it goes. At this point, like now it's like sink or swim. Like they had their first kind of out of toxic attraction feud, and now it's like you got to see if you sink or swim at this point. Now it's gonna get real at this point.
Yeah, I thought this was definitely the better match, honestly. This was something I've been waiting for this whole feud, just because of all that extra. I was abused. It's like, and I'm like, all right, if you're gonna go to that level of like, oh, okay, all right, kind of throw that out there, then I feel like if you feel that is equivalent to mother abuse, then you better kick her ass when you need to. And I felt like this is what it was. I'm just saying, you can't be like, it's like my mom abused me and then you be soft. Like, no, you gotta really put it to her, because that defeats the purpose of all of that. I feel like she actually did it this time, and so I'm okay now. If can we move past this feud? I feel like they've been feuding for some time. We get it. Clearly, GiGi, as I already said, I thought she was the better of the group anyway, of the three. Obviously Mandy was that was clear. But if you're going on this, I think Jacy was the third level tier. Not to be like no shade, but she was the third tier. And nobody was like, yeah, Jacy. Like, they might have been one or two, but let's be real. We saw the audience. You have NXT audiences. And so I am glad that we did get that. And so I guess we'll see what goes on next for both ladies going forward. And so next up, we had a little segment where Carmelo Hayes did come out to kind of put over his win with Braun Breaker. And, he did, say like what he was going to. And unfortunately, Noamdar in his new stable, which we kind of, saw really happening at Battleground, kind of came out and interrupted, his little segment. And so Trick did kind of shut down Noamdar, I feel, to an extent, but he was able, Noam was pretty much able to kind of get a match out of Carmelo, and I think this is more of a, I think we said previously about his anger sometimes maybe getting the best of him, and this might be a problem, because personally, I'm not letting you guys go me into anything. Personally, I'm gonna let you can want a match. But I guess, you can want one. I don't have to give it to you. I personally would have just let him talk on that and be like, well, you're not getting one. and let's go about it. But since he's the face, I guess face is like, oh, I'll defend my thing. But I do think his temper kind of got the best of him in this. And so Trick tried to, but he wound up putting his title on the line for the main event later on. And so I don't really know how I feel about it being in this way, but we do know that Carmelo can wrestle, and we know that Noam Dar can wrestle. And so I felt like, if anything, if they're trying to push the fact that he has this new stable happening, fine. And then I know later on, they did warn Oral Mensah, Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson did warn Trick to kind of stay at the main event, and he kind of said, let's not do any, the scheming, the shenanigans. And I was like, so nice little, I guess, decent setup for the main event. I don't know how I feel about how I went about it, but again, we know both of these men can wrestle, and so I was like, okay, pretty solid. So what were your thoughts on this segment? You guys gonna stop these shenanigans? They're gonna stop bringing up Jinder Mahal when I'm having a good day. I'm having a good day. You see, I'm like in my zone right now, and then you better bring Jinder Mahal and bring me down. Okay, you just bring the vibes down. Let's not put that negative energy out there. Stop mentioning Jinder Mahal. He is on Raggedy Monday Night Raw, where he belongs. If he belongs there. Okay, personally, he should belong on no screen. But since he's stuck on people's screens, he belongs on the Raggedy show that is Monday Night Raw. And y'all know when we're talking about tiers of show, let's be real.
Yeah.
We're talking about, like, Raw has that 3 hour stretch. 3 hours sometimes is hard to, on a Monday, it's kind of hard sometimes to get through 3 hours. So what I mean in regards to, like, when you think of excitement wise, Raw is probably a little lower because of the longer extra hour. NXT's 2 hours, SmackDown is 2 hours, and then there's Raw with that extra hour. So that's what I mean. So if you guys who like Monday Night Raw, I'm just saying, y'all know that third hour is a little bit hard to get through. Y'all know it. But don't do that, okay? Because I was in a good space. I was in a great space. But
I think I was in my early 20s the last time I finished a full episode of Raw. Like, I'm being so honest. Like, I can't. Yeah. But in terms of that, I love this encounter. Again, I'm glad that you touched on it, because it's like we have been noticing that Carmelo is getting goaded into these things. And if it wasn't for all of the interferences from the main event, we will get into that, he very well could have lost because of his, I have to prove myself, or I have to succumb to my temper stuff with Noam. Would I have been mad? I don't know, honestly, because Noam, I just love him so much. He's such an amazing addition to NXT. And I just love that, these group of people who haven't been on TV, even though they're all really talented, now are getting this time to be on TV. And I think that this is a great group. I wonder what the name of the group will be. They need to let me know so I can support it and write it in a little name thing here and hold it on my chest like that. So I really enjoyed it. I think it's kind of going somewhere where Trick might. I'm getting those vibes. Are you getting those vibes with Trick?
I am, and I said this previously, that there was a couple of moments where he looked a little annoyed, or he looked like he might have been kind of like questioning things where his role might be, even if he's even needed with Carmelo. I feel like that, yes. And if he keeps responding with anger, maybe it'll be more like Trick's just, I don't want to deal with all of that. Like, because now I got to be put in a situation of trying to help you, when you can't just control your temper. Like I said, he would have said, oh, he gonna say, and I'm like, that gif where the person like closed the window up and the guy's laughing with his fur coat and he like the window just goes up and he dipped. That would have been me. Not gonna be getting no title out of me. Like, man, please, you can talk on it, not just you want to talk. But like, whoo, you thought, Emma, walk on out. You're not type of this. He should take a page of the chill book. Be chill. And I feel like if anything, and the fact that we see Trick Williams getting better with wrestling, he talks well on the mic enough. I don't know. I definitely can see it happening. I definitely can see it happening. If it's not a jealousy thing, as you said, it could really well just being annoyed. Because like, why? It's like, the person's always in problems. Like, oh man, now I gotta fight now, or I gotta be like, your friend do shenanigans, so I gotta jump in. Like, it's that kind of vibe, because he's always allowing his anger to get the best of him. And that might, honestly, I love my friends, but if you're that friend, I'm gonna have to be like, listen here, Katrina's not doing all this. Like, there's gonna be one day I don't want to wake up and I'm ready to fight all the time. Maybe I mean, if I have, I guess, but you know what I mean? Like, everybody want to do that every week. And maybe he gets tired of that. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens, but I definitely can see it, especially with that segment. I felt like that was another like maybe foreshadowing. But yeah, otherwise solid segment. And so let's move right along to some tag team action, which, you know, I love me some good tag team action with Wes Lee and Tyler Bate versus the Dyad, and Ava was on the side. And so now, earlier before this matchup, Dyad did threaten Wes Lee, which kind of led to Tyler Bate stepping up and saying he will help him. I don't really know how I feel about, I guess in a way it's more so because how can you just have a match and now it's like, oh bro, I hope you like you're trying to take my title. I don't know how I feel about that personally, but yeah, so this match was decent. I do feel like Wes Lee and Tyler did work really well together. Actually, I thought they worked really well. I think there was a moment, I don't know. I felt like it could have been done better if it gave it a little bit more time. Again, Tyler Bate can wrestle. Wes Lee can wrestle. The Dyad, Rip and Jagger, they can wrestle. And so I felt like if you would have given them just a little bit more time, they might have, they might have could have done a little bit more with this matchup. And that was unfortunate because, again, you had 4 guys who can wrestle. There was also a moment where we got a little appearance from Mustafa Ali, who kind of just made his little, he is a free agent. He did appear. The audience did, and I was like, okay, this can make things interesting. And I say this because I am a fan of Mustafa Ali. I am a fan, and I truly believe he has not been utilized properly. I felt like that cruiserweight title that they do not, really, he thrived in the cruiserweight. I feel like that was his thing. And, even though he's a fantastic wrestler at, Night of Champions, he took on Gunther, and we was like, all right, like we already knew he was losing. I don't know why you're trying to act like we were supposed to believe he had a chance. Let's be for real. Ali's fantastic, but let's call a spade a spade. And so him showing up as a free agent makes things very interesting to me in NXT, because again, I feel like the NXT he will thrive in. I feel like he really will be able to do what he needs to do. But he did join commentary, and Wes Lee did one point he did almost get the win when he did like a double cardiac kick, and then this allowed for like a side-by-side corkscrew senton from Tyler, which I thought was really fantastic. However, Wes did set up Tyler to do his Tyler Driver 98 to get the win, and they did win this matchup, which again I thought was pretty solid. I just wish they had a little bit more time. But what are your thoughts on this matchup and the kind of turn of events when Mustafa kind of like, hey guys, I'm here?
I'm actually really happy about this because I agree. Like, I feel like he hasn't been utilized to his full potential in a very long time. I feel like everyone felt like, yeah, he's not beating Gunther, but I was shocked that they gave him so much offense, but also pleasantly shocked. Not like a, oh my God. I was like a, yay. And he really, really showed why so many people believe in, him and his ability and why they should really start taking him seriously and giving him time. And might I say, like, his hair has been looking extra luxurious lately. I have to call it out when I see good hair. I have to say it. But I'm happy about this. I think this would be very cool. And if we get like a triple threat between these between these 3 men, my brain may explode. I'm being honest. So yeah, I'm excited about this, and I just feel bad for the Dyad. I just feel like they just keep getting thrown out every week just to be, just jobbed out. What can you do? And Ava girl, you is in for one next week. You is in for it. Because Ivy don't play.
Yeah, I that was another thing I forgot to mention. My bad. There was a moment. Sorry, guys. Afterwards, there was a little bit of brawl between. Ava did attack Ivy now, which kind of led to a whole brawl, and then Gacy did come in. Wes Lee, and then Mustafa kind of came in and helped, which is what the last picture was. And so my bad. But yes, I do think Ava doing all of this is just so like unnecessary, because I'm like, well, what do you do? Like, are we gonna get you fighting or what? You're gonna keep doing this, or you're gonna get in the ring? Okay, I feel like we need to stop with the shenanigans now. But After that, there was a segment with Scripps finding Axiom backstage and thanked him for opening his eyes by taking off his mask. Which I'm like, I mean, I guess. So what were your thoughts on that little segment?
Ain't nobody calling you Scripps, Reggie. I don't know what he was talking about. You got me. Why would I call another grown man that's not wearing a mask Scripps? You better stop playing with me.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just like, my guy, be for real. Be for real. But here we are. I wasn't taking him seriously since we knew it was him. Like we all knew it was him. Let's call a spade a spade. We knew it was him. We definitely knew it was him. And so next up, we have Tiffany's Stratton's little Tiffany celebration. I believe she called it the Tiffy-bration. And so she comes out there and pretty much kind of invites the whole women's locker room to kind of enjoy her Tiffy-bration. And nobody came out at first until she was like, well, she was going to announce the first challenger to the NXT Women's Champion. And then she said she was going to, the number one contender will be decided in the Battle Royal next week. And the women teamed up to send her, pretty much, they beat her up. And then Lyra Valkyria did a swing and drop kick to kind of have the segment with this. So this is my issue with this. First of all, we don't have to disagree there, because no. If you're supposed to be, this is the one thing, if you're going to play this whole pretty girl gimmick, play it correctly. You cannot be you, the most bestest, fabulous person, and you get beat up like this. That's strike one. You gonna talk this nonsense, you put it with some feeling, like you mean that. Like you mean it. You can't be just, because you're not gonna be beating me up on my celebration. I'm just saying. Okay? Let's stop these shenanigans. Let's stop the shenanigans. As I've said previously, I was already annoyed that she won in the first place. We already knew once Cora, we was like, okay, Cora's losing. She definitely gonna, and then, Lyra is injured. She just magically injured. I already knew Tiffany was winning off of that. I stand by this. It should have been Cora and Roxanne. If Cora win it, fine. But it should have been Cora and Roxanne, because they feud started with the NXT championship. They jumped her because she's trash. I would jump trash too. Okay, let's stop these shenanigans. Okay, we're gonna stop these shenanigans. I cannot take anybody seriously. I know, but nobody wants this. I don't want Tiffany and Cora. Again, if you're supposed to be, I'm the tippy, this was how she said, I'm the tippy top. That was the part that really, because she kept saying that. And I'm like, sis, stop it. She kept saying the tippy top. How are you at the top getting beat up? How? You cannot be at the top getting beat up. Get it together, Tiffany. Maybe if you stop doing all this hair flinging, you had all the time for the pictures. Take that time when you printed those pictures out to have displays in the ring. Take that time to train so you don't get beat up by the roster. How about those apples? How about instead of you doing all this, extra, how about you train a little better? Maybe that would have happened to you. Because there's no way. I would have said what I said, and I would, if I'm going to be a heel, the way I would just dip. I would have dipped. You could say whatever you need to say. You're not going to beat me up on my celebration. Okay? Yeah, well, and Charlotte, and look how many opportunities Charlotte got. So all I'm saying is, Tiffany said herself, this is the thing people keep forgetting. She literally said herself that she was not ready. You cannot go from a month ago being not ready to now you're supposed to be the top champion. I cannot buy that now. Now, if she never gave that little snippet, maybe I wouldn't complain so much. But she gave that. She decided to say guys, I know I need more work. Okay, so now that you said you need more work, I'm supposed to buy you as champion. I cannot buy that. It's gone. It's just like whatever is happening, and it's gone. I'm supposed to take you seriously now. I cannot take you seriously because you're talking shenanigans. How am I taking you seriously? And you can't even I just know. I mean, she's pretty, and like I said, I am sure Tiffany is a nice person, and I'm sure she's a nice person. I'm sure she is, but no, I can't. Like I said, if she didn't go, it's how I feel when people try to tell me Goldberg was amazing. Like Goldberg didn't sit here on WWE TV and was like, you know what, guys, I couldn't wrestle. They had to give me quick matches because I can't wrestle. And now I'm supposed to buy you as being a great man, please. No, now whatever you're supposed to be great is gone. It's gone. Whatever little bit of faith I would have had is gone because you would have said and do shenanigans. Why? Why? So this is the same thing. When he was saying to me, I want a retirement match. Why? You said you can't wrestle yourself? I just feel like, like, that's all I'm saying. So she literally said the tweets was going around. WWE literally retweeted it of her saying she felt she needed some more work. Now you're the champion. How am I supposed to buy you a champion now? You said it. Maybe you should have said, like, I don't need to be on the main roster, but I got NXT in the bag. You sound cocky like you're supposed to. You sound like you're better than everybody like you're supposed to. And then I maybe can buy this. But no, I cannot buy this. Does she have a great moonsault? Absolutely. I like a good moonsault. I do. I think her moonsault is one of the best I've seen. But there are too many other moments that are extremely sloppy that I'm not. No, you're supposed to be the champion. Be a champion. That's all I'm saying. So she did all this. And then get beat up. So now I'm like, this is what you get. This is what you get for ruining my Sunday with your shenanigans. Just ruined my. I was like, I already knew, but then seeing it, and I was like, oh my God, Tiffany. I'm just like, I guess. Like, if this is what we getting, I guess. So all I'm saying is the next time Sis is in the ring, she need to come correct. Come correct. You're gonna talk about you the best. You better act like you're the best. Charlotte was mentioned. Charlotte says she's the best, and she acts like she is. She says what she says, and then she proves that. I need that. If you're gonna have this mentality, like little Charlotte's, then then do better. Charlotte not gonna let her. You're gonna get beat up, and I'm talking about I'm getting beat up. Charlotte would never. Okay. So all I'm saying is, if you're gonna do all this, get it together. So I guess we'll see where this raggedy title run is gonna go, and I have to deal with it. I already got to deal with some other shenanigans, which we get there, because that's going to be a rant as well. But the point is, hopefully next time we see her, not only is her moves in the ring more crisp, but she not letting people run her, because you're supposed to be the champion. Man, please. It's like I said about Carmelo. You're not going to go to the end of the championship match. You got your little Hershey's cup. You don't need the way I would have been like, deuces, would have skedaddled so quick. Tiffany, you said we're having the battle royale. I'm like, see you have this next couple of weeks, and it would have been gone. You're gonna be beating me up. That's all I'm saying. And then the other thing I didn't particularly like is the whole battle royale. Because why do we keep having these? For the love of God, stop. We done had like 4 battle royals in the last 2 months. Can we please stop the battle? I am tired. Can we please do another mechanism, another route to get to contender? Why does it have to battle royale? Why can't we just have women face off each week and the winners so we get to a point where, like, okay, this is clearly the number one? Why is another battle royale? Do the women not deserve to have some solo matches and be like, okay, sis, you won this match. You're on the road to be number one contender. That's all I'm saying. I'm tired of battle royals. Can we please stop it? We had a bunch of them in the last 2 months. I am over it. And Tiffany, you're supposed to be the tippy top. At the top, act like you're the top. You shouldn't be acting like the bottom. Don't act like you're the bottom rung. You're like the, I don't know, what is the pre-wash in the machine? Do better. Do better. Because I'm tired. Y'all sitting here hyping up. How y'all hyping this up? She getting beat up. Don't hype up. That's mediocrity right there. Mediocrity. Do not hype that up. You got to hype up greatness. You can't say I'm great and get beat up. You be great and you dip. You dip. Okay. Now that I got that on, my sister, there's a lot. I'm sorry, guys. I was feeling this since Sunday. I was. I don't know. Maybe I should time it. I know this is a longer one than normal. This was a long one, but I was feeling this since Sunday. I was annoyed. I was like, you know what? Just wait till I get to NXT on Thursday. I was so annoyed. And then Tuesday, I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about, y'all. I got to do shenanigans. However, yeah, my bad. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this little thing?
So what I will say is, you know, I'm like half and half because I do agree with some of the things like these are things she did say about her needing work, and you know that will put like a little bit of what's the word, like it's gonna make me not too confident if you're saying that. I'm like, listen, you need to be the first to make me confident. If you already saying something that's like not confident, I'm already off the rails. So I definitely get that. I am willing to see where it goes because I do like her character. Like our character is so ridiculously annoying, and that's like the goal. So I'm willing to kind of like give her a chance and see where it goes. I'm sorry when she kept saying "aw" every time. She was like "aw, aw, aw" all the time. Like that was cracking me. Listen, I can't. I'm just coming here to say things. Also, I wanted to say I really appreciate Shawn Michaels for the fact that while we only had one women's match for Battleground, for that match to have the most time, I appreciated that so much. He has been such a breath of fresh air when it comes to how he has booked the women on NXT. I just have to say, I thought after how Triple H, booked the women in NXT, which I thought was very well, which is why I'm very like thrown off by the main roster right now. But I didn't think anyone could come to that because I feel like he booked them so well in NXT. But Shawn, he picked that baton up and said, move. He is moving. He is doing his thing. That's why we love him. Even though we're going to have to talk about it later with the dark side of the ring. I can't. It's too much. I didn't want to get into it. But, yeah. I'm willing to see where it goes. Like, the potential, everything is there. So I just want to see, like, next week, keep putting that in, and maybe this title reign will push her. Maybe
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Like, if she can get herself to a place where I can believe it, I can dislike her as a heel. Because I don't, some heels I don't like, and that's just how it's always been. There's some heels I'm like, all right, this works. Like Roman, it works. But then also I liked him when he was face. So I'm a little biased there. But even I can admit he had to get better. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. He had to get better. He had to get better, and he had to be more confident what he was saying. And now he is, and you can tell the difference. And so all I'm saying is, I'm supposed to believe you as a champion. I can't if you're talking about you don't know you ain't ready. Because now I'm like, well, how I'm supposed to believe you as a champion? Right. And then you get beat up in your first thing as a champion. You get beat up by the roster, but with some people who we haven't seen in like forever. Be for real. Some people we haven't seen in like months, and you got time to beat people up now. Like you got beat up by somebody we haven't seen. That makes you look bad as a champion because we haven't seen some people like where's the last time you seen him on TV? Like be for real. So that's all I'm saying. I would probably no. Jinder Mahal hate has never went down. Granted, I had to cheer Brock Lesnar recently, and that hurt. That hurt me bad because it was like this is how much I just like Cody that I had to cheer Brock, and I hate. It's just so maybe, but it has to make some sense. And I do agree with Shawn Michaels' point. I do think I did like that they did get the most time, and I did appreciate that. Like I said, I think if she tunes it up a bit and actually sound confident, like she'd be saying, I can tolerate her being a champion, but not right now. No. I just can't. And so afterwards, there was a vignette showed highlighting Island Dragunov's road to Battleground. And he will be there next week. And then also a segment with Thea Hale kind of joined Drew Gallagher and Charlie Dempsey's technical class, even though Duke said she did not have to attend, which I thought was interesting. So what were your thoughts on those little segments?
Duke, I'm on to you. Like, he keeps trying to act like he somewhat cares. I'm on to him. Andre, where are you? I know they saying I think he's injured or something. I don't know, but like, something's got to give. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it with Dookie. Dookie, you getting on my nerves. I'm at my wit's end with you. And that vignette with Dragunov, that's it. That's all I have to say. I don't know. You got to translate what that means. But yep. Dragunov, he need to get a title. Something needs to happen. That sold me. I don't know what it was. Sold me. I was sold. Good shit. I'm sorry. Good stuff. Sorry.
No, I definitely think this was. I was a fan of him already, as you know. So I was just like, y'all just showing everybody what we know. I don't think she came around.
What did come around?
She definitely did not come around. Let's stop the shenanigans. She did not come around about Hank. She was like nice from like she said there was a one moment that she was appreciative of, and then the very next week she was mad because he came out with Tank. She did not. Let's not put that lie in the air like that. She definitely did not come around to Hank. She has her Hank hate has stayed the same. It's been the same energy. Okay, so we got let's not don't lie like that. Listen, Cody. Listen, that's a whole nother rant for another day because Cody be getting on my nerves too. So anyway, there was a segment where Danny Palmer did come out and called out the woman who attacked her, but not only her, her friend Soul Roka, and we do miss Soul Roka on the roster. You know, that's a girl. We miss her. And so after all of that, it seems like it was revealed to be she attacked the assailant attacked Danny, and then it was revealed to be Blair Davenport. And I did find it odd, and I will say this, that she seemed to be the only person concerned about the attacker, considering this person attacked bad women. I feel like shouldn't you all be concerned? I feel like the same level you guys gave Tiffany like 2 segments ago, you should have gave her. Because she attacked bad people in NXT. Mad people. And it seemed like y'all just fine. Only Danny was concerned, like, oh, you attacked me and my friend. She attacked she attacked all 5 of y'all. I feel like y'all should have came together at this moment and beat up Blair. Like, this is what I'm talking about, people not getting their priorities right. Why? Was she allowed to attack Danny again? Y'all like, oh, she attacked all these women. Y'all didn't come beat her up? Because that's what I would have did. Like, you got my homie. I'm now safe in the parking lot. I don't know if I'm going to be safe. And you want to come out and be like, oh, yeah, it's me? Okay, Blair. See you in the ring. I'm just saying this is the energy that they should have had for her too. If you're going to do this, Tiffany, you should have had the same energy for Blair because she was attacking a few of y'all. And we didn't know who she was going to take next, who she was going to strike next. And y'all just all regular. I was like, how is she the only one concerned about this? We've been concerned for weeks. That we was like, how is everybody, nobody knows what's going on? Like, there's video footage where nobody knows who it is. Like, be for real. And here we are. So I was a little confused about that. But we did also say that it could have possibly been Blair, because she's been gone. Now, I'm a little surprised because it seemed like that last week when she attacked Roxanne, that, you know, the body looked a little different. And maybe that's what it was like, maybe it's not her. And then I'm like, I don't know. It's not looking the same as it did last week. Because I'm like, are y'all bringing different people in for angles? Because I was a little confused. I'm just saying that the hip action that was there last week was not here today. And I say it because you mentioned the 8-time stop. I did have a good laugh about that because it was funny. But I'm like, she put a lot of her soul in that stopping that you would think. I'm like, what? I don't know. But I guess this is what we are. So what were your thoughts about it being revealed as we thought some time ago that it was Blair? But how Danny was the only person apparently concerned by this.
Right, exactly. I'm telling you, last week when she was stomping, she was giving A-Town down. I'm sorry, I'm done. I'm not gonna do that again. I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna say this, Roger, because I did see your comment. I feel like it does make sense because I feel like Blair, she came in, she had her one little shot, and then it was like whatever, and then they went back to kind of every person she attacked was someone who was like a flavor of the month, someone that, you know, just kind of blew past everyone out of nowhere because they got a lot of traction online. Roxanne, that makes sense because Roxanne Perez, but same thing. She popped in and immediately shooted straight to the top. Same thing with Nikita. Same thing with Soul. So I feel like her motive is all these girls surpass me and I've been here. I think that because all the people she attacked were, you know, people who kind of blew past everyone out of nowhere. I'm just saying. I love Blair. I think she's so talented. I love her look. It's different. So I want to see where this goes. And I do wonder why Danny was the only one that was worried about it. That is interesting. But I guess we'll see more, and I'm sure she'll probably do a either backstage or in the ring explanation next week, and we'll have her answers. And I'm excited to see. I'm wondering who is going to be the first person she goes against. Like, is Nikita coming back yet, or is Soul, or is it going to be Roxanne that she goes against? But I would hate to see Roxanne, because having Blair just come back and then go against Roxanne to lose makes no sense whatsoever, especially after all the time you put into building this. So it's like, who is she going to go against? Like, who's going to be her first victim? Because she has to win her first, being back after all this built energy.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I get that, what you said about it could be like everybody else past me. As far as Nikita, because didn't she have like an ACL tear? Sometimes that's really hard to come back from. And then she was already injured not too long before that too. And I'm not that I'm a fan of Nikita, because I'm definitely not. Sure, she might be a nice lady as well, but I'm not a fan. But she's also injury prone. I feel like she's been injured most of the time she's been in NXT. It's like she'll be there for a little bit and then she's gone. And she's there for a little bit and then she's gone again. And so I don't know. And I thought Sol Roca also has like an ACL tour, didn't she, as well? And so those sometimes, unless you're Kobe, don't know if you basketball fans know that time Kobe hurt his ACL and he like walked out to the court and still made that free throw before walking off. Like, personally, I would have been crying. I would be like, no. And I would have been dramatic, and they have to take me out with the referees, or take me out the stretcher. I would have been really extra. I would have been extra. I'm trying to. Kobe, good for you, because I would have been, oh my God, it hurts. And I would have just laid there and be like, so somebody picking me up? Because I'm not, you want me to do a free throw now in these conditions? Nope. So, unless they're like that and they can just come back, I don't know. Usually that's a long recovery. So hopefully, they'll be back soon. But I guess I will not call her that. Stop these shenanigans right there. Like my Katrina. But we'll see what's gonna happen. With all of that, we will see what's going on. I do think you said she should win the first. Like, you can't have her lose. That defeats the purpose of her beating everybody up. Like, how you gonna get beat up everybody and then once again you lose? That defeats all of this. I feel like she does need to win her first match, whoever that will be. And I don't know how. I mean, Roxanne was the last one she attacked, but she attacked so many people that I feel like there could be a few people they can have her go against first because she attacked so many people. So I mean, I guess we'll see. There was also a little segment briefly with Dante Kemp kind of taunting Eddie Thorpe, which allowed them to have a rematch between them next week. And so, what were your thoughts about that?
Listen, diabolical teddy bear, leave Eddie Thorpe alone, okay? Let him be great. They are really holding off Eddie Thorpe and him really getting involved in a real storyline. And I get it. There's a lot going on, especially now with the addition of some new big players. These are not even small players that have been added. They're big players. So it's like it's a little tight. And I can see that they're still trying to make sure that Eddie's on screen, but they're not ready to put him in something super like significant in terms of like a storyline. So I'm rocking with it, whatever. I think him and Damon have good chemistry, so I don't mind seeing another match between them as long as Eddie wins.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a solid rematch. I don't know. It's one of those. All right. Well, that's aggressive. That's so random. But okay. I mean, I guess live your dream if that's what you wanna go with this. But yeah. Afterwards, there was a little matchup between Joe Coffey and Shannon Stacks Lorenzo, and so they did show Tony D'Angelo taking his mugshot photos, which I'm like, that's so unnecessary. And then there was also, I guess, a moment backstage where Stacks did pick a fight with Gallus, since they were the ones who ratted and told Tony D'Angelo, and so they were thrown out of the arena after they kind of beat him up. And so this match, was okay, I guess. I felt like even without Gallus being on Joe's side, he kind of dominated. That I was like, all right. I felt like there was moments. I felt like Tony did look really solid. Personally, this is probably the most solid he looked in a while. And I feel like, unfortunately, this is mostly because he has Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo is a, his gimmick, I feel like a bit surpasses Stacks a little bit. Like Stacks just like he's the guy, like the homie who kind of just handles the light work, I feel. And so I don't know if this is like a hindrance to him, but there was also a moment where it seemed like the referee had to stop the count because Stacks and Joe was kind of lost track of the count out number. And I'm like, I don't know if I've seen that before when it's like, I don't know if we're going to restart the count, whatever. But this was kind of a fair one-on-one fight. However, Joe Coffey did win this match. He did throw Stacks into the steel steps and then hit the glass ball send off. And all the best for the Bells to win this match. Thought it was really solid. In regards to that, I do think Stacks did better than recently, but Joe kind of showed he really didn't need Gallus after all. And so, what were your thoughts about this match?
I've always felt like Joe was their like solid singles guy in the group. Like the occasional, I'll step in if someone else. But Joe is always, I mean, especially if you see his stuff from NXT UK, like he's always been a solid singles guy. So I wasn't shocked at how he dominated and him, getting the win, honestly, because I feel like Stacks is still in those early stages of figuring out who he is as a competitor in NXT, especially with not having Tony there as to kind of guide him, So I didn't expect Stacks to win, truth be told, just for those reasons. They doing Tony bad. Like, free him until it's backwards. As I said on Twitter, free him until it is backwards. Get him out. He didn't do it. He's innocent. I'm telling you, he's innocent. Whatever you saw in the video, that was not him.
Well, before we go on with the last parts of NXT, let's hear some awesome words from our lovely CEO, TK Trinidad.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk. And I want to say thank you so much for watching, because you've got millions of options. Plus, you don't have to worry about sharing your password to check us out. But while you're here, hopefully you know we have so many more shows to watch, like Turnbuckle Glam, Raw post-show, WoW post-show, AEW Dynamite post-show, Women's Wrestling Army post-show, NXT post-show, Impact Wrestling post-show, AEW Rampage and SmackDown Live post-show, On the Scroll, ROH post-show, WWT Live, plus all of our interviews with the hottest women's wrestlers in the game. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our website at www.talkpod.com and follow us on all social media platforms at www.talkpod, and make sure to spread the word. That means send this to the group chat. Yes, even the person with the green bubble. Thanks again so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao for now.
Oops. Some fantastic words from our CEO, TK Trinidad. We do have a whole bunch of shows almost every day of the week. So again, as always, we love you guys on here, always making us laugh and making me rant. I'm trying not to. But we appreciate you guys' support and popping in for everybody's shows. We really, really, truly appreciate that. And so moving right along, we had some more ladies action between Ivy Now and Cora Jade. And so there was an earlier altercation in the locker room with Cora and Ivy kind of wanted to put Cora in her place. And so in the locker room, Cora did complain about Lyra costing her the NXT Women's Championship, and then Ivy kind of came in there, and I feel like Cora was kind of sporting a couple of bruises, it seems, and I guess that says more about the fact that she's been kind of working. But this match was pretty decent. I felt for the most part that this kind of showcased Cora's chemistry a little better. And I've said this, even though I did say the feud between Cora and Roxanne should have finished, and I still stand by that. I also felt like the reason it was kind of ridiculous, but then she got hurt, and then she came back, and Roxanne already did won the championship, had this other stuff, and so it kind of I felt like her coming back after the little injury threw her off a bit as far as chemistry. And so I do think with this guard, she had some chemistry with Ivy, and I guess that speaks to Ivy as well as how well Ivy can wrestle. But unfortunately, I felt like this was probably one of her best performances she's had in a long time, and I say this only because she just seemed better and more clean with her moves. And I feel like, this, I'm kind of annoyed with this whole, because Ava did interfere, which did cost Ivory the match. And Cora Jade did wind up winning because of this interference. And I don't know. I feel like we said before, we thought Ivory was kind of chained to, her group as it was, because she was kind of just background stuff and they wasn't letting her do anything. And now it's like when she's trying to get some solo matches, here's Ava kind of throwing it in there. And so it's like, I don't know. I feel like Ivy can thrive once they get rid of, this whole feud with her and Ava, and I hope this leads to an actual match and not just Ava keep popping up and like surprise. And every time Ivy's there, she just kind of pops up and stop it. She pops up and kind of messes up Ivy's matches. And hopefully when we finally, and I'm hoping we actually get a match this time, it can be done. I do think Ivy would, if anything, show Iva the ropes if she needs to. I do think she's a fantastic wrestler, but I would like to really see her thrive. I feel like they're not allowing her to do this with all this weird stuff, and now it's interference after interference after interference. But what were your thoughts on this matchup?
I do agree. I just feel like they keep putting so many obstacles in front of Ivy, and just not letting her just be who she is, which is a really, really great wrestler. She definitely puts it on in the ring. And she's so likable as well. I feel like, you just want to root for her. I want to root for Ivy personally. I do think that Cora needed this win though, because I think she needs to stay looking good, because eventually when Tiffany drops that to whoever, that title has got to get to Cora. At some point, it has to get to her. So you have to make sure she looks good. And obviously if you go between Ivy and Cora, you got to go with Cora. No shade to Ivy at all. It's just her standing in the women's division has been so wishy-washy because she's been chained to the Creed brothers. So it's not her fault, but it is the circumstance that it is. Next week, I do see her going over Ava. That's where I'm at. I really think she will. I know a lot of people are like, oh, for her to lose her first match, but it's okay. People have come back from worse on their first singles matches. She will be all right. But the person that deserves this win is 100% Ivy. And, I'm just excited to see, Ava. I feel like the last time she was in the ring, we didn't really see a lot. She was in there for maybe 2-3 minutes. We didn't really get to see much. So I'm really excited to see what they do. I think that if anyone's going to be her first singles match, Ivy is a great pick. And yeah.
I agree. I do think this is just, this is definitely something that will be a good first opponent for her, but I hate that it has to be this weird, just her, just popping up and, oh, I'm just gonna kind of interfere. I feel like they should give her more than that. I feel like stop making her, I know she's a heel, but you know what I mean? Just give her more than just being the person who's always interfering. There has to be other things that could be happening that could work better, personally. But yes, I do think, it'll be a good solid, and hopefully we get past that at some point. And so afterwards, Diamond Mine and the Schism did get back into it backstage after the Creed Brothers and Ivy did challenge them to a 6-person tag team match for next week. And so, I guess we'll see some more tag team action next week, and hopefully, it's not where Eva's just whatever she's doing. I feel like they need to really let her do well, because I'm just over it. It's all right. And so next up, we did have the NXT Championship with Carmelo Hayes accompanied by Trick and Noam Dar with his group, wherever they're going to be called, because I don't think they have a name yet. And so whatever they're going to have for them, hopefully. And so I thought this was decent. I felt like what I think would have worked if they did kind of with him and Dragon Lee doing the kind of rounds, because I felt like that's where Noam thrive personally. I think he thrives in those kind of things. And so I feel like this might work, but I thought it was pretty good. Trick did at one point get the crowd saying lock it in, as he was saying Carmelo kind of take in technical offense, which I thought was really smart. There was a moment where Noam did kind of hit an elbow to the Carmelo's face. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. And there was even a moment where Trick did knock out Oro Mensah and wound up getting thrown out by the referee. And this is what I'm like, now this is what I'm talking about the referees doing shenanigans, because like, where's this dedication for every match? I feel like the referees don't be really doing the dedication they need to. And then we're, with these shenanigans all the time. And so, I don't know. But anyway, this wind-up I thought was pretty good. I do think that Trick is over with the NXT crowd. I mean, you know how, when especially their response to him getting sent to the back, I felt like there was like this could also tie in what we said a little earlier, that would Trick be leaving, Carmelo at some point? We don't know. I thought that this was Noam's best match, and I think this is because of Carmelo, because he had really good technical offense, looked really smooth. He also did a lot of high flying stuff, which I thought worked well with Carmelo. So I thought that was pretty good. And so anyway, Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier did kind of come out and distracted him and Oro Mensah, which allowed Carmelo to dive onto them, setting up nothing but net to win this matchup. However, we did get another free agent when Baron Corbin decided to ruin my Tuesday and do his end of days. And while I do like the end of days, I actually think it's a very safe move as well. And I say, like, if everybody is saying the move is safe, I like they said Kane's, I believe he was very safe in the ring. He's apparently very safe in the ring too. So that's fine. But I do not like Baron Corbin. And so to see him now on my Tuesdays, and I'm like, see, here we go with you guys. I got rid of Jinder Mahal. We got rid of Jinder Mahal. And now you're going to bring back somebody else I don't like. I'm like, what is these shenanigans? And so now here we are. And he's now talking about he gonna win. Like, I just need this to be very clear, and I feel like I need to say this, Shawn Michaels, do not play with me. If Baron Corbin get a match and Carmelo lose to Baron, there's gonna be some problems. There's gonna be some problems. I'm gonna have to go to Michael. Got not have to use your government. Stop playing. Baron better lose. He better come down there with his little free agency and be left on the bench. He better, I swear on everything. Okay, like, if he comes and get a title shot and magically wins, I'm going to have to make my way to a show. Where to Shawn Michaels? Wherever you at in Texas, I'm going to have to find you, Shawn. Stop playing. This better not happen. You better have him be there just for like, okay, yay, he's a free agent person, and be done. Be done. Carmelo better not lose no damn Baron Corbin. No. Trash. Absolute trash. I was so upset by this. I was happy we got rid of Jinder Mahal. I was like, yes! Yes! And now I was like, oh, here we are. Again, with somebody I don't want to see on my Tuesday. And so here he is. Lone wolf my behind. He hasn't been a lone wolf in years. Okay? He's just been trash. Happy Corbin, gambling Corbin, I don't know. Sad Corbin, I don't know, but I am tired. Okay? And so I just know that if he comes, they better not play. They better not play. Carmelo better not take no L's to no Baron Corbin. He better do his little stint and take his ass back to Raw. Where was he? I don't know if he's on Raw. Take your ass back to where you belong. Take your ass back. Okay, Mr. Free Agent. You need to be what's the best free agent that nobody really cared about? You're that person. Whoever you don't care about, the person who never comes off the bench. That is you, Baron Corbin. No. So that's how it ended, unfortunately, where Baron standing over Carmelo with audacity, holding his belt, audacity to hold his belt over him like he's supposed to do something. Whack! You are not Carmelo. Just look at his little tank top. No. It was disrespectful. I didn't like that to Carmelo. It was not right. I didn't like it. And I'm like, listen here, Shawn, stop playing. Like the level of y'all gonna hear me complaining for like a week. Like, Shawn gonna hear me. He will get a DM. I will smoke signal to you, Shawn. Stop playing. Stop playing. Just telekinetic. You better hear my. You know what? Brock Lesnar right now is on the space because he's beating up Cody, and because of that, I have to cheer him. I've been cheering him for the last couple of weeks because, and I know y'all know how I am about Brock Lesnar. Again, I'm sure he's a nice guy in real life. I'm sure, but Brock Lesnar irritates my soul. When I gotta cheer Brock Lesnar, do you know what that says when I have to cheer Brock? like, do you know this is about, like, but this is a how I feel about Cody? And my Cody hate has been around for years. I don't even understand. This is not recent. I never liked Cody Rhodes. Again, I am sure he's a nice guy outside the ring, but in wrestling, he irritates my soul. I didn't like him at Stardust. You know, to AEW, I was like, shut up, Cody. Nobody cares about, oh my God, my dad. Now he's come back to his dad. I don't care about your dad. I don't care about your story. The story is over. You know, you read an ebook and the book sucks and you get like 1% and you're like, you know what? F this book, bad review. That's why I feel about Cody. I don't care about the end of your story. I don't care. So I have to cheer Brock Lesnar now because of this. When Cody got beat up going to work with his little shoes, I was like, yes, this is what you deserve. People on Twitter was mad that I said that. I was like, oh, but he was going to work. And people get hurt going to work every day. I know that's supposed to be. I'm supposed to feel sad about it? No. So now, you know, in this regard, I would have to cheer Brock because he's beating up Cody. And because of that, he's on the list for now. But Baron, I'm just like, oh, Night Tuesdays is once again, I am always probably heel, honestly. I'm probably in the heel. When I'm talking smack, I'm probably in the heel line. I'm going to be honest, I am. But that's where we ended with Baron just messing. Like, Carmelo got to do all that nonsense with Braun. And I was like, oh, here's Corbin. Let's give Corbin. And so here we are. But what are your thoughts about that match, but also that end? Because
yeah, no, I enjoyed the match for sure. I knew that they would have good chemistry. I think Noam is just like a fantastic wrestler. Like, he's just fantastic. And obviously we know Carmelo is fantastic. This is already known. So, I mean, I just didn't think that it would be possible to have a bad match in general. So I liked it. I think it was cool. I think that Noam is going to rise to being one of those top heels on NXT for sure, easily, especially now that he has a whole, you know, set of 3 people behind him as well. I'm excited for that. And for Carmelo, I'm excited for him to have, you know, get his feet wet, you know, and have a match with, you know, Baron Corbin, like, you know, a lot of the old NXT guys, you know, I like this. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be very cool. And I think we'll have a good match. I don't see Corbin winning. I don't see him getting the title. If he does, I'll be shocked. I'll be as shocked as when Dolph won. Honestly, that was shocking to me. I hope they don't pull that because I feel like that was something that really derailed Braun when they kind of just took the title off him to give it to Dolph for like 2 business days just to give it back to Braun. And that just made everyone look at Braun weird. And that's what started the discourse. And if they do that with Carmelo, I feel like that could be the same thing. So let's not do that. I
like Dolph. I do. But I do agree that if they would have let him stay in there a little longer, I would have been okay with that. But they did. And so it was weird because it was like, okay, he wanted to lose it. Like, what was the point? And so, yeah. But I guess. We'll see. But that is the end of NXT this week. With a really, you know, decent, solid 2 hours of wrestling. And we thank you guys for joining us. Shay, tell everybody what you got going on and where they can find you.
I got things going on. Okay, no. So you can find me at Shay Sawyer _ on most platforms. You can find me at Shay Sawyer on Twitch as well. I do occasionally stream on there. You can also catch a new episode of the Big Pop Theory podcast every Monday. We just released a new episode this past Monday, so definitely check that out on Spotify. And then you can catch me on Unpopular Review for the Dark Side of the Ring review that I'm doing with this amazing, fantastic person over here. And that should be right after, right? This is kind of right after, huh? Yeah, actually. So yeah, 8:30. And then you can catch eventually we will be having the challenge on Unpopular Review, the challenge review show. So look out for that. I will be posting the dates on my Twitter. And yeah. Where can we catch you though? Busy lady.
Yeah. On most social medias platforms is in Captain Trust, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram EZA3. I will be at Florida SuperCon with Behind the Magic McCullough Wrestling panel on June 30th. I'm actually going to be there today, flying in, flying out. But I will be in Florida, so whoever's in Florida, I will be there with some awesome people talking about women in wrestling, women of color in wrestling. We do all the amazing things. So that's June 30th. July 8th, I believe, I will be in Jersey. I am making my backstage correspondent debut at Goddesses of War, which is Titan Championship Wrestling. I believe June, I want to say the second weekend, so not this upcoming one, the following weekend, I will be at Victory Pro Wrestling. Also making a debut of backstage correspondence in June. And then following the weekend in July, I will be back at CCW. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing yet, but I will be there in person. So if you are there, say hi. But yes, it's definitely a lot of stuff, and we will be at 8:30. It will be on my YouTube channel in Cat We Trust and on Unpopular Review. We will be talking about Dark Side of the Ring, and the first episode was a doozy. And so we will see you guys quite soon, actually, which would be really fun. But we love you guys as always. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for getting me on my rants, because y'all already know. Y'all knew it was coming this week. Y'all knew it was too much shenanigans. But we love and appreciate you guys, and we will catch you guys next week. And if you join us, we'll catch you in like 20 minutes. Bye, guys.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet.
Hey peeps, TK Trinidad here, boss lady of Women's Wrestling Talk.